Hi everyone, I am going to make a video on how to make a Google site for a student portfolio. So a Google site is just a website. Google has a bunch of different types of files that you can make. You can make documents or slideshows or sheets. And a Google site is just another type of file that you can make in your G Suite, but when you open the link, it looks just like a website. So it's a really neat function. And when you make one, it saves in your Google Drive. So I'll show you how to do that, and I am going to start in my Drive. So I have a folder right now. I have a folder in my Drive called Sample Portfolios, and this is where I want my Google site to be saved. So that's where I'm going to start. You can just start in your Drive. I suggest just making a folder so that it's easy to find your site again. You can always find any site that you have ever created in your little waffle here, and you can go to this Sites button and it will show you any Google sites that you have made or any sites that have been shared with you. You can even create a site from here, but I just like to create it in my folder so that I know exactly where to find it again. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the plus sign and click New, and I'm going to add a file, and you can see you have different types of files that you can create. Sites aren't on there, so I'm going to go to my More selection, and I'm going to come down to Google Site. So I want to add a Google site to this folder in my Drive. So I'm going to click Google Site. And what it will do is it will pop up with a pre-made template for you. It's already kind of set up to where you just need to drag and drop the information you want. So it is really user-friendly. You can go as customized as you want, or you can go kind of as simple as you want. So I'll show you the basics. What you see right now is your home page. You can see you've got a toolbar at the top and a toolbar on the right. Let's just start with the title of our website. Mine that I am showing you is for students on how to make a student portfolio. So students should just think about what you want your website title to be when your website opens up. My students will probably title it something like, my teaching journey, or my cadet teaching portfolio, or maybe their name and their cadet teaching portfolio. Whatever you want it to be, you want your title to represent what your website's about. So I'm going to title this My Cadet Teaching Journey. Students, of course, can title it whatever they feel like is the best fitting title for their website. So I want this to fill the screen a little bit better, so I'm going to pull my text box a little bit. I kind of like how it fits that screen a little bit better. So that's what we're starting with, and you can change the text size and font, and it's totally up to you. It's really customizable, and you can change the color as well. Especially depending on how many words you have in your title, you might want to make it bigger or smaller. I will give you a quick little tip though. You can change the font, and that might sound simple, but there are so many fonts in Google that you probably just are not aware of. So you are given a set of default fonts, but you can also go to this plus button and get more fonts. And Google actually has tons of fonts. You can see I have checked the fonts that I like. They're in blue, and when you go through, you can see which fonts you like, and whichever fonts you like, if you check them, they'll show up in your defaults. And so if you notice you don't have a lot of font options, or maybe you don't really like the fonts, you can go in and find more that you like. I would just suggest that you make your website title font something that's really easy to read. It's probably not a great idea to select a font that's difficult to read. So if you select a font that is just kind of got a lot going on, it will make it really more challenging for people to understand your website. So I would just choose something that you like, but something that's simple. And once you have that, you have your website title. So sorry, I'm going to get mine set here. Okay. Now you can go ahead and think about what you want your image banner to be. Your banner can actually be bigger. You can see your header type. If we want our header to be a little bit larger, maybe we want a full picture back here, and then we want to adjust our font maybe to be on the right side, and we have some picture over here. You can kind of customize it the way that you want it to look. So you can do that through header type. So maybe if you want a really large background photo, you can make it a little smaller. You can turn it into a banner or only a title. But it's up to you. They have given you this default black and gray geometric stripes, and you can definitely use that if you don't want to go to much work, but you can choose any image you want to go in that banner. I would just suggest choosing something that isn't very busy or chaotic because it will take away from your website title. So you can go through Google Images, find something you really feel like fits the theme of your website, but just make sure that it's simple. So my students are making a cadet teaching portfolio. Maybe they find a chalkboard or pencils or something that maybe is simple and doesn't have a lot of busy designs, but represents their cadet teaching journey. So think about what fits, or you could have no header at all if you would just like to have a title. It's totally up to you what you want your website to look like. Okay, the next thing you'll see up here is your site name. This is actually what is going to go into your drive as the title of this file. So this is the website title that will come up on your web page. You should name this whatever you want it to be in your drive. So you might make it your name and student portfolio or something. But it could even be the same. If you want it to be the same title as your website title, that's fine. But just know this is the file name that's in your drive. Okay, so that's kind of the basics of what it's going to look like when you get your website open on the first homepage. We will add to our own homepage. We'll add some things below our website title here in just a little bit, but I think the next step is best to set up your pages. So you're going to have more than just your homepage. You're also going to add some other pages, some sub pages. So let's start by adding the pages. My students will have several pages that they will add to throughout the school year. So I'm going to click on pages. You can see right now I already have my home page here. And to add more pages, we're going to go to the plus button. And then we are going to add the pages semester 1. My students will have a semester 2 page. They will have an internship page. And you can see every time I add a page, it pops up on the screen. And then the last one they're going to have is a professional documents page. And so you can see on my toolbar over here, this is just helpful for me while I'm editing. This won't be here whenever I publish my website, but you can see when I do have my website published the way I like it, you will have the navigation toolbar up at the top, where if someone wants to move from the home page and they want to see the semester 1 page, they can click on that menu up at the top. So now we have our pages set up. You can go in and edit each page the way that you would like each page to look, and I will show you that by editing the home page. So I'm going to go back over here. I don't want to be on this pages site anymore. I want to go to insert because I want to insert things into my home page now. So I'm on my home page and I want to add a few things down here. So my students on their homepage, they need to have an About Me section, they need to have a picture, they'll have a few other things, but let's just start with that. You can add things individually. I can add a text box if I would like to, and I could just have a free text box where I could text in whatever I want to have in that text box. I could add a picture if I want to, but I actually really like these layout boxes because they set it up in a really organized way and they already have it pre-made. So I really like using these. So I am going to start with this first one. I think it works really well for an About Me section. Students can use whatever they want. If you want to set this up differently, that's perfectly okay. But I am going to put in my title About Me with a short description. And then after I have my title, and again, you can change the font, you can change the alignment, whatever you want it to look like, you can do that. Then we have this little section where I can add an artifact. I can add a photograph if I would like, and I can upload that from my computer. I can find one in my drive if I have saved a picture to my drive. I could add a YouTube video if I want to here. It's really nice. It's not just a picture. I could add anything in this little box, which is a really nice option. So later in the school year, I'll have students add resumes to their website. So you can add it straight from this little plus button. I could go from my drive and add my resume right here and it'll pop up right there, which is really nice. Okay, so this isn't the only thing my students will have on their homepage. They'll have some more information, and so you can choose another layout to follow this first layout, and whatever you prefer, whatever you think fits with the information you are going to have. And so you can continue to add layouts here with text boxes and artifacts, and you can add as many as you would prefer. And you can do that with the pre-made layouts, or you can go ahead and go in and add something separate, just like a free text box if you would like to. You could even make your own title if you want to title this section here. Maybe I want to title this section, oh, I don't know, part 2 or something. I could call this part 2, and then I can make my title of this section. So it's really, I think once you start working with it, it starts to become a little bit easier when you kind of play around with it. You can always hit Control Z if you want to redo. Like, oh, I made a mistake, Control Z, and you can see it's taking away everything I just did. So that's a really good thing if you realize you did something you want to go back, Control Z. Again, you have some customizable options here. You can change the style and the colors and all of those things if you would like to. I'm going to delete that now. Okay, so that's how we customize a page. And whenever you have it the way that you would like it to save as, because you're going to share the link to your website with people to read your information and learn about you, you're going to share your website link. You're not going to share your editing link. And when you have the page edited the way you like it, the way you want people to see it as, you're going to hit this publish button to say, like, I want people to see this version that I have completed. So I'm going to hit publish, and you can see publish. And it's set. So I can keep editing it and I can keep working on this, but once I have it the way I want people to see it, when I give them that link, I'm going to hit publish. So those are some of the basic things that you need to know for a Google site. If you want to go in and preview what it looks like once you have shared the link to your site with someone else, you can click on this preview button and you can see what someone might see when they're looking at your website. And so that can kind of give you an idea of what it looks like when you're not looking at the editing page, when you're actually looking at the published version of your site. So just really simply, this was how to use some of the tools on Google Sites, and I hope this was a helpful tutorial.